Hey everyone, welcome back. So, NIO intends to launch in the UK in early 2025 with the new ONVO L60. So, the lack of import tariffs mean the UK will be the first European market to get Chinese firm's new affordable EV brand, ONVO L60. NIO reportedly will bring its new affordable EV brand ONVO to Europe next year. Well, we're currently in the year 2025, starting with the launch of L60 Coupe SUV in the UK. As reported, NIO's product planning boss Eric Yoon explained that ONVO will come to the UK first because, unlike the EU, it doesn't put tariff on Chinese-made EVs, which will have a crucial motivator given ONVO's value-focused billing. NIO's EVs are currently subject to 31% import tariffs on EU, up from 10% in 2023. That's insane. And understand something, these tariffs, they will only impact the citizens that are supposedly want to buy these vehicles. It will only impact the citizens. The price of the vehicles will obviously be a target point if tariffs continue to be increased. So similarly, impact on car makers including BYD, Chery, Mini, Polestar, and Volvo. They're moving productions of some of their EVs from China to Europe to circumvent the tariffs, but NIO hasn't announced any plan to build cars in Europe, having passed on the chance to take over Aldi's EV factory in Belgium. In fact, NIO's exact response to these claims, I made a video on this. I was excited for the idea that NIO could possibly have a EV factory in Europe, but then I saw the factory. And when I saw the factory, I realized that I understood immediately why it had such limiting capacities and why Aldi was struggling to maintain this facility. The simple fact is that the facility, it lacked the strategical real estate to really establish itself and to be margin profitable. In other words, it's just too limiting. It's just too small. It's a factory that lacks capacity to expand in any category. So if Aldi is struggling, so would NIO. And that's exactly what NIO would say. NIO's exact response was, if Aldi can't afford to run that factory, how do you think we're going to afford to run that factory? What a perfect response, because if you don't know, Aldi is owned by VW. VW is basically the biggest company in the world who makes cars except for Toyota, because VW owns so many other companies. They own Bentley, they own Porsche, they own Audi, they own Skoda, they own so many brands, it's kind of crazy. They own Lamborghini, they own half a Bugatti. They did sell off a Bugatti to Rimac, but they still hold a substantial percentage in that company. NIO started selling EVs in Europe in 2021, but has yet to make its way to the UK. So the expansion of ONVO will mark the company's first foray into the market. Now, when I was at Goodwood in 2023, I went inside the ET5 and they said that that was coming in 2024. It didn't arrive. And it doesn't seem like it's coming in 2025 either. To be honest, I don't know. It might. I don't know. But they do seem to be really excited about bringing the L60, the ONVO L60, to the UK market as soon as possible. ONVO export to Europe would begin when production reaches 30,000 units per month, which expects to be around March 2025. Oh my goodness. NIO is going to send shockwaves through the EV market this year in 2025. I swear to goodness. It isn't yet clear how the car will be sold in the UK. Autocars have approached NIO for comment. News of ONVO expansion outside of China comes just days before NIO is due to unwrap the first model from its second EV brand, Firefly. Now, this is an old article from last year in December, so we already know they've already unveiled the Firefly vehicle, and it's beautiful. In so many ways, I'm so excited about that vehicle. Honestly, I look at that vehicle and I'm like, honestly, that could be my first electric vehicle, the Firefly vehicle. I really think so. But let me explain to you why. It is because it's simple. It has the infrastructure, it has the design, aesthetics, similar to NIO vehicles, but it's affordable. It is affordable. It is 4 doors or 5 doors, if you want to call it that. It will have swap-in technology enabling the vehicle, but you can also charge the vehicle. The technology that is within, I mean, for a car like this, NIO launches new brand Firefly open for pre-sales at 20,000 US dollars, compact EV. I mean, when they bring this thing to the UK, I look forward to seeing how much it's going to cost, because it is such a compelling vehicle. For selling such an EV vehicle at 20,000, that is very, very compelling. I think a lot of people are going to like that option. So it's affordable. Why shouldn't it be my first EV if I can afford it? But I'm just saying, it's the most affordable EV that I like. So in other news, ONVO promises to increase number of battery swaps available at swap station. Electric vehicle maker NIO, known for its battery swap technology, launches its fourth generation of battery swap stations a year ago. These stations store up to 23 batteries and are compatible with vehicles from the sub-brand ONVO. So you see, I've already spoken about this. The ability that ONVO has the ability to use NIO Swap Stations. Not Firefly will not be able to use NIO Swap Stations. I've made a separate video speaking about that and the reasons why and why it makes sense. But it's going to take us a few years before we understand and appreciate why it makes perfect sense. Right now, we're just thinking emotionally and we're feeling like it doesn't make sense. Put your emotions aside. Try to be objective as possible. Try to look at this from a professional standpoint. These cars are at completely different price point and completely different size, completely different categories. For NIO to develop a swap stations that can service all sizes of vehicles is incredibly challenging task, and it's going to take some time. Maybe they'll get there in 5-10 years. We don't know, but they're not there right now. So what's the best options? Well, Firefly can use its own swap stations, and these Firefly swap stations can also service other brands of vehicles in similar size. What if BMW decides one day, actually, we'd like to allow many vehicles to use those swap stations? They go into partnership with NIO and say, can we use your technology and can we use your swap stations? NIO agrees. Because NIO is doing this, they're partnering with a lot of Chinese companies. Even Lotus, they're partnering with a lot of companies that are interested in battery swap technology. So if the Mini brand wants to use ONVO swap stations, it would be perfect because they're in similar size. They're a very similar size vehicle. And if you know anything about Chinese companies, and let me be clear, Chinese EV companies right now, they're very competitive and they like that competitive nature and they want to improve partnership. They want to be competitive because that improves everyone overall. When the tides are in, all boats rise. That's the philosophy that it looks like the Chinese EV market is growing on. And it feels as if some of these other brands, legacy automakers, have forgotten that that is how all boats rise. It's when the tides are in. So if you want to catch up to Chinese EVs, all you have to do is partner with them. A lot of them actually want this partnership. They want this collab. In case you didn't realize, Volvo, it's a Swedish company. It's owned by a Chinese company. And if anything, Volvo has been doing better now than they've ever done before under Chinese leadership. You might not like that statement, but all you have to do is look at the growth and deliveries of Volvo since they've become managed under a Chinese company. Volvo has went from strength to strength, and they're looking to challenge brands like Aldi, Mercedes, and BMW soon, I swear. Especially with Polestar being so exclusive, Polestar is looking to challenge Porsche. So don't underestimate them. NIO began upgrading all third-generation stations built in China between early 2023 and June 2024. So it's a new third-generation swap stations that are not compatible with ONVO vehicles. But the fourth generation stations, the fourth generation battery swap stations, they are compatible with ONVO vehicles. So it's the older stations that are not compatible. So one day NIO might reveal a generation of stations, maybe 6 generations, maybe 7th generation, and that might be compatible with other brands such as Firefly. But we're not there yet. We need to be patient. And people who are watching, people in the EV industry, people in the EV community, people in the NIO community, you need to learn patience. And I cannot believe that I am the one of all people who are trying to teach and trying to help people to understand that patience is a good thing. So in a Q&A shared on its official app, NIO sub-brand, which operates over 1,000 ONVO compatible battery swap stations in China, stated that some of the stations may not have fully battery reserve. As of December 29th, there are 1,000 swap stations nationwide supporting battery swapping. Due to ramping up production capacity recently, some stations may not yet have full battery reserve, the company said. So like I said, this new model of having swap stations, it does come with its challenges, and these are challenges that NIO will have to meet and improve. Because as you know, people are not patient. People just expect everything to be perfect, which I get. You know, you pay for a car that can have its battery swap. You expect it to have its battery swap, no issues, no problem. But the EV industry is so new, we need to be patient. It's going to take some time before this industry is fully self-sufficient. And we're not there yet. We're not even close. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a really good experience. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more. Leave a like. Subscribe to our newsletter. The link is in the description. And join our community. I'll see you in our next video. And Happy New Year's.